Yeah. Okay, very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pierce Cheng. CEO of AIMS Immigration Relocation Specialist. Thank you for making time to be at International Plaza Singapore today. We're going to start our event right now. And for those who are joining us online, thank you for making time for us. And so without further ado, right, I'm going to introduce the company via a video. All right, so please enjoy the video. Yeah, and if you have any but I thought a red and white airplane is kind of cool. Yeah, so oh, it's real, it's real. It's real in the video. Okay, yeah. So thank you for again making time for us today. Today we're going to talk about a US visa that is pretty unique, and I think since 2017 we have been leading in terms of this solution. So I hope whatever you hear today and learn today, you won't keep it to yourself. Yeah, but you can tell your wife. Okay. Yeah, and so I think she'll be very happy after you tell her. Okay, so this is a little bit about us. Okay, so have you all seen this Malayan?
Yeah.
So Malayan has been is officially a Singlish word already. So can you tell me what does Malayan mean as a Singlish word? I give you a clue, right? Okay, last night I was at a bar with my friend. After we left the bar, he started to Malayan.
Raw.
Okay, that's a good one. Raw. Any other guesses? Vomit. Yeah, vomit. You know, like my colleague will say vomit. You follow so far? Yeah. Okay, never mind. Yeah. So this is a very Singlish word. You know, when people say Malayan, they actually mean so why we put the Malayan here is because it's very significant of what AIMS represent, because we started here in Singapore. Over the last 16 years, we have gone to 10 different countries. And we are happy that we are here broadcasting live to these different countries today. Okay. So this is me, right? So
So handsome.
Sometimes you know there's a difference between good manners and bad manners. So what happened about 5 seconds ago was a good demonstration of bad manners. Okay, let's try again. This is me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is me. So in fact, it's very thankful, you know, that over the last 5 years, right, despite COVID, right, the immigration industry actually recognized our efforts, and we have been granted top 100 migration agencies, top 50 migration agencies, and top 25 migration agencies. Have you ever wondered why the number get lesser and lesser? Anybody wants to make a guess?
Because of COVID?
Correct. So why is it that because of COVID there'll be lesser? Correct. Travel restriction and all the immigration borders
Visa policy also almost
all closed. Yeah, all closed. So 2022 is a year of the comeback of the migration agencies. For those who were able to last until 2022, congratulations. We're going to have a good year together. For those who couldn't last until 2022, thank you. So now we have a slightly larger market share. So that's exactly why in 2018, it was top 100, 2020, top 50, 2022, top 25. Because there are lesser companies that are doing this. But I can understand, because it took us a lot to last until today. Really a lot. Yeah, so for those who decided to venture into the business, good luck. Okay, so our mission and vision, very obvious, okay? Very simple. We want to help people to go to where they want to go with our specialized and dedicated team. Okay, our vision is to be a strong player in the Asia Pacific region. Okay, pre-COVID, we have 15 offices, 400 colleagues. Post-COVID, we have 10 offices, 200 colleagues. I think we're quite thankful that we are still around. Okay, pushed. Anybody knows the meaning of pushed? Very negative, right? Like, why would you push somebody? Very rude, right? But in the world of immigration, it's really like that. It's really like that. You see, after 16 years, what I can tell you is this. If I don't push my colleague, who is standing there right now, she will stay this size. But if I keep pushing her, then she'll become the other size. Okay? So why do we have to push? Okay, number one, for 3 key reasons, okay, in the world of immigration. Number one, policies. You see, we are thankful to in the space right now where America is opening up and we are able to apply for visas. But over the last 16 years, we had at least 2 years where the country was completely shut to new migrants. Completely shut. So this one is beyond us. We have no control. So number one, policies. Number two, health. I want to talk about my Vietnam managing director. His name is Daniel. He spends 90% of his time in Vietnam. Okay, and I was just on a call with him earlier. So in case you're wondering, everything is fine with him. Okay, however, he was back in July, the 3rd and 4th week of July, he was back in Singapore. So we had a quick call and asked him why was he back. He has a cousin who's born 1985. So today she will be 37.
37, yeah.
Passed away from COVID. Nothing new, right? Nothing new. I mean, the world has lost millions of people. But I just want to share with you this thing about health. Over the last 16 years, we have been successful with at least 18,000 families, but we have been unsuccessful with at least 50 families, at least. And some of this unsuccessful, right, has happened because of health. We had a client who was going through all the way to the last stage of the process, and then the wife was diagnosed with breast cancer. So we couldn't help them. We had a client, 1980, who went with us all the way again until last stage for medical, and then he passed away from a heart attack. So number one, policy we cannot capture. Number two, health we cannot capture. And what is the third thing? The third thing that is very critical. Today is September. Today is September, right? Next month will be October. Can I have a show of hands whose birthday is in September? Very nice. Yeah. No, I only care about important people. No, the very important one don't need to care. So ma'am, which day in September? 22nd. Okay, nice. So we are still ahead, right? But the day, I do not want to know your age, okay? But looking at you, let's say you are 22 this year, okay? So come 22nd of September, you will become 23. That is something that nobody can change and nobody can take away from any of us. So this is the third factor that I want to share with you about immigration. Age. The moment you cross the age, it's never going to come back. And there are so many policies in the immigration space where age is such a significant number. For those people who have gone to our Google review and see that, oh my God, this company has such a bad Google review, I appreciate it. But I also want to share why. I want to take this opportunity to share why. It's simply because we have too many clients. And when the borders were shut, when the borders were completely shut across America, across Canada, across Australia, even across Singapore, our age never stopped. And because our age never stopped, a lot of our clients will age out. For example, in Australia, if the cutoff age is 44, they were 43 when they signed up, the borders were shut for 2 years, they are now 45. They have aged out. There's nothing we can do. Is it AIM's fault? I'm not sure. Is it Australia's fault? I'm not sure. Is it the client's fault? I'm not sure. But what do we do about this situation? Nothing. So these three factors we cannot control: policies, age, and health. So this is why we pushed. Of course, PUSH is also an acronym for professionalism, utmost integrity, sincerity, human touch, empathy, and dedication. I hope as you embark on your journey with AIMS with us, you will be able to feel what we are. You will be able to. Thank you. Okay, so this is where we are right now, okay? Nothing to shout about, but however, if you're watching us from any of these countries, I hope you can pop by our office and say hi in the city where you are right now. If not, it's okay. These are the top 4 countries across the top line: Australia, Canada, United States, and Singapore. Today, we will be talking about a country that didn't jump. Look at the slide again, right? We are not talking about these 2 countries that jumped. We're talking about the country beside. It's called America, United States of America, okay? So right now, after COVID, we have downsized. There's 220 of us, okay? We still have 10 officers, thankfully, and we still help people to move to the 20 countries, which is here, okay? And the top 4, Australia, Canada, US, Singapore. Today's focus, US, okay? Successful clients, more than 18,000. Okay, anybody knows what a skilled worker is? Is a nurse a skilled worker? Nurse is a skilled worker. Is a doctor a skilled worker? Is a general manager a skilled worker? Okay, is a bricklayer a skilled worker? Good. Okay, all of the above to us are skilled workers. So skilled workers category, we help for Australia, Canada, New Zealand. Okay, investors, usually people with money. Student visas, education, right? We focus on 2 destinations, Australia, Canada, and of course where we are right now, Singapore. So 3 destinations to be exact. Corporate relocation, okay? So we are quite blessed that we have about 8 to 10 Fortune 500 companies that use us for their immigration and relocation needs to Asia Pacific, okay? Citizenship, okay? We have helped clients to naturalize to Singapore. We've helped clients to naturalize to Cyprus, to different parts of the world, okay? Family visas. Today, you go to America. Then you want to bring along your brother. Then you want to bring along your parents. Then you want to bring along your newborns. So these are called family visas for people to come together again. Employer sponsorship, today's highlight. Today's highlight, we're talking about employer-sponsored visas, okay? And last but not least, entrepreneurs. Welcome all over the world, but of course, with COVID, a lot of entrepreneurs may not meet the mark anymore, okay? So why choose us? We try our best to be one-stop. We try our best to be one-stop, okay? There are certain countries that we are not as strong, but I can assure you the top 4 countries that we're talking about today, Australia, Canada, US, and Singapore, we're definitely strong, okay? So I'm going to go into the subject proper. Anybody knows about the size of Singapore? Size. 700 square kilometers. Very good. Okay, so over here, we are talking about 9.83 million square kilometers. Want to make a guess how many times that is? For 700 to 7 million, okay, it's about 10,000 times. Right? So it's more than 10,000 times. Okay, so I mean, but honestly, end of the day, right? If I stay in Tanjong Pagar, yeah, I honestly just stay in Tanjong Pagar. No matter how huge Singapore is, I will still be in Tanjong Pagar. However, if the country is so huge, okay, there will always be more opportunities. Always be more opportunities. Population, right now we are at about 6 million. I mean, everything I'm talking about is based on Singapore, where we are right now. So we are talking about how many times? 55 times? Okay, so that you have an idea. GDP, anybody knows the GDP of Singapore? You don't, right? Very good. Very good. You do. FM, GDP of Singapore. GDP of Singapore. It's a Googleable term.
Gross.
Okay.
Gross domestic product.
Yeah, gross domestic product. I want to know the GDP of Singapore.
What's the amount? 10,000.
Okay.
No.
340 mil,
B.
340 billion, billion, 340 billion. So another 660 billion, we will be at 1 trillion, correct? Okay, and USA is at 21 trillion. 21 trillion, okay, so you get the idea. So we are about 600 B. Okay, another 400 will make it to 1 trillion. They are 20 times more. So plus minus 25 times Singapore. So you have an idea of the country that we're talking about today, America, the strongest country in the world. At least that's what they say. Okay, so land of opportunities, undeniable. Okay, there are a lot more opportunities in terms of employment, because we talk about job creation in America on a monthly basis. When they announce, right, we are talking about 5 million jobs that is being created in 1 month. But over here, if we create 5 million jobs, it's basically for the whole country. So it's very different, the sheer size of it itself. World-class education, if you look at the top 100 universities in the world, the top 20, at least 8 of them is from America. Of course, there's UK, Canada, Singapore, China, Australia. Everybody's on the top 20, but 8 of them from one country is America. Nature, anybody had a chance to go to US? No worries. I happen to have the chance to go here. All I can say is massive and it's very beautiful. Okay, but I think end of the day, when I go there as a tourist, okay, just like all of us here today, I've lived in Singapore for the last 40 many years, right? And some of you here have been here for 10 years, 5 years, 20 years. It's different. It's different when you visit and it's different when you live in the world. It's very different. When you visit, you go for the highlights, you go to the zoo, but when you live there, I have many friends who are my age, 40 something, they've never been to the Singapore Zoo. Not because they are lazy, but because when you are living and working in a country, it's definitely not like a holiday. Really not. Okay. So coming to today's highlight, we're talking about securing a USA green card. The word green card itself has been used across the world to be understood as permanent residence. But most of you will know, right, that there are 2 things that are well known that are green. Number 1 is called the greenback. That is called the US dollar. A common term about it is called the greenback. Second is a green card. They were the ones from 35 years ago who created this term so that everybody called a PR a green card. Okay? But where we are today, the card is blue if you're PR. Okay. Okay, let's talk about EB. Okay, a lot of people tell you about, I got an EB-1, I got an EB-2, I got an EB-3, I got an EB-4, I got an EB-5. Okay, I want to help you to understand exactly what is an EB. EB is defined as employment-based. So there are 5 ways that you can qualify for an EB. Right? Number 1, EB-1, extraordinary abilities. Anybody can think of someone with extraordinary abilities. Everybody probably knows somebody who wants to go to Mars. Familiar? The guy who's building electric car. I think he's phenomenal, right? This gentleman who's building this company called Tesla, his name is Elon Musk, but he's already living in America. But someone like this, if he's outside America, I think it's easy for him to qualify for EB-1. It's not just about the amount of wealth that he has, it's about his ideas and his revolutionary ways and the way that he can reinvent the wheel in terms of so many things. Okay, that's one example of an EB-1. Let's talk about an EB-2. Art, science, business. Okay, so where are you from? No, it's okay, man. It's okay. All right. And I'll ask my colleague FM. So FM, who is a successful business person in Malaysia? Robert Kwok, right? Yeah. Okay, never mind. A lot of people may not know Robert Kwok. He has a nickname called the Sugar King. Okay, he's currently, he's quite senior right now, but he owns another group called the Shangri-La. Right? Someone like Mr. Robert Kwok, okay, will easily qualify for EB-2. Okay, but we have to understand, right? There are only so many Bill Gates, so many Elon Musk, so many Robert Kwoks in this world, right? So what about the rest of us? What about people like you and me? Okay, we are not ruled out by this country called America, at least not yet. Okay, there's EB-3, EB-4, EB-5. Okay, but today's focus, we are going to talk about EB-3 because within EB-3 itself, there are 2 subcategories. Number 1, called the skilled worker. Number two, called the unskilled worker. Okay, I just want to highlight to you that we at AIMS, right, out of Singapore, in Singapore, it's very critical that if we want to do something that is with regards to job placement, we have to be fully licensed. We're going to show you our licenses later, just in case anybody's getting a wrong idea. We are fully licensed and authorized to do whatever we are doing today. And no, another myth that I need to debunk is that a lot of people are saying that, oh, our candidates are paying for the jobs. The answer is absolutely not. A lot of our clients who are working in America right now, they are working happily for the employer and they're receiving salary from the employer. It's not the other way around. They do not pay the employer for the job. No, they do not. Okay. So today we are focused on this unskilled worker route. Okay, unskilled worker route. Okay. Just to be very honest, okay, the reason why EB-3 is even possible is because we are pitching jobs where some of the Americans refuse to do, which is why the country itself is very open to bring in foreigners. I had the opportunity to be involved in a Red Cross charity event 2 days ago. So me and my team, we went out to feed a group of disabled people who are staying in this place. What's the location again?
What's that, Lengkok Bahru?
Lengkok Bahru, okay, in Singapore. So we were feeding these people, and then there were other people amongst us who were helping to feed the people because they were not able to feed themselves. So they had to be fed 3 times a day, okay, and there was about 120 of these disabled people living there. I just want to highlight, right, it's very interesting. It's very interesting that in that premise where Red Cross is based, okay, where Red Cross is based, everybody who were feeding all the disabled in the room, right, there were no locals. There were 0 Singaporeans and 0 Singapore PR. And I asked why. It's because it's a live-in role. So these people really live there, work there, and then they take care of these patients on a 24 hours basis every day. So whether we are coming from Singapore, whether we are coming from America, there are always jobs where the local do not enjoy doing, do not appreciate. So I think coming from a country standpoint, coming from an immigration agency standpoint, I really want to appreciate and thank all the foreign workers for helping us out in Singapore for whatever jobs that you're doing. I think it's important, and I thank you. So today we are talking about unskilled worker, okay? Anybody wants to give me an example of an unskilled worker? Unskilled worker, sorry. Yeah, any example that you can think of?
Those doesn't have any skills, sir. So just
Yes, for example, a factory packer. Yeah, that is an example of unskilled work, okay? An example. Okay, so let's talk about what happens, okay? Just now we mentioned about the 3 things why we are pushed. Number 1, age. Number 2, health. Number 3, policies, okay? Policies as of now is in your favor, okay? I look across the crowd attending today, at least right here in our Singapore office. I think most of you will fall within the age range. I just want to share with you very clearly that there is no age discrimination for the USCIS program of EB-3. The very reason why there is an age range here today is simply because the employers requires our applicants to have a certain degree of strength, certain degree of physical fitness, okay? Also to highlight, healthy is subjective, okay? So the definition of healthy to us is no terminal illness, no tuberculosis, no HIV. That's okay, right? No criminal record, okay, I think that's basic. I think for any country to give you a green card directly, even before you land in the country, I think they want to make sure that they've done their due diligence and their checks. Okay, and some of our employers today, they also require you to go through a drug test just to make sure you're not taking any controlled substance, okay, just to be safe for themselves. Okay, so when we say no English, no assets and no work experience, what we are saying is there is no need for a relevant work experience because the jobs that we're looking at is unskilled, okay? There is no need for English, okay? There's no IELTS, there's no TOEFL, there's no PTE, but we still need a certain basic level of command of the language. At least if you're able to understand me now, I think we're very safe, so that if you start working in that place, they're able to communicate and give instructions and you're able to do it, okay? And lastly, no assets proof, okay? I think for some of you who are familiar with the immigration scene, right, there are some countries or some states or some provinces, they actually require us to put out like cash at bank, or typically in Singapore, sometimes we call it show money. Yeah, so in this subclass, there is no need for such a thing, okay? And of course, let's talk about dependents, okay? I think having been in the immigration space for 16 years, I want to highlight that many a times, right, we, or at least I dare to say, most of the applicants that I've met, they are not doing it for themselves. It's sometimes for their wife, but most of the time for the children, and then for themselves. These are the three sequence. Correct me if I'm wrong. Number one, for the children. Number two, for the spouse. And lastly, for themselves. Usually the sequence is like that, okay? So in this case, I just want to share with you, once we are successful with this stage called the I-140, which we'll be talking about shortly, the age of your child will get locked in, and then we should be fine, as long as the child is below 21. Okay? Of course, for wife, there's no age limit, but we have to be reasonable. Okay, so documents-wise are quite simple, okay? You need to have a valid passport, okay, so that the label can be pasted into your passport so that you're able to travel. Your national ID, whether you're here, whether you're using an EP card, a WP card, a PR card, or IC, or your national ID in your country. CV in an advice format, okay? Curriculum vital, which talks about your history, what you do, what graduates you have, and stuff like that. Labor cert questionnaire has been waived, okay? But we will be answering on your behalf to talk about why you want to work there and what are the roles that you are happy to take on. Police clearance is a must, okay? If you have been living in 2 or more countries in the last 10 years, then we need it from both, if not just from Singapore, for now or wherever you are. Medical examination, they're looking at the 3 key things that I talked about earlier: tuberculosis, HIV, terminal illness, birth cert, marriage cert. Simple, right? Everything to be translated into English, where we at AIMS will be facilitating for you. Okay, let's talk about location. Anybody familiar with the West Coast and the East Coast? Very good. Okay, neither am I. But I just want to share with you, I've not been to so many parts of America. It's a huge country. Okay, just now we counted, right? At least 50 times of Singapore. Most of our jobs right now are based in the East Coast. Okay, you will probably hear of some famous names of the West Coast, like California. Okay, so these Western coast, like Washington, okay, these places, they are a bit more, I wouldn't want to use the word developed, but okay, they are a little bit more expensive. So because most of our jobs that we are talking about is more unskilled, so we are expecting more of our clients to be based in the East Coast, okay? Of course, after you work, or even while you're working, if your spouse or your child or your children decide to explore other parts of America, it's completely fine, because the visa that we are getting for you is a green card, okay, which allows you access to the entire America, okay? But as much as possible, because we are helping you to secure a green card via the employer sponsorship, we hope that all our applicants will be committed to the job, okay? The jobs are not going to be easy, okay? It's going to be manually strenuous, okay? It's not mentally strenuous, and we are talking about long working hours, like beyond 9 hours kind of thing, okay? And the salary is not fantastic, but reasonable and livable, definitely. Okay, earlier on I was talking to you about license. Today, me and my colleague Juvina, we are here in our office. So we will be sitting in most of the consultations just to make sure that none of our colleagues are giving advice that is not qualified, all right? Okay, let's talk about process, okay? So we start from engaging us, okay? And then we arrange for the recruitment process, okay? There may or may not be an interview. Many a time, some of the employers, they really want to see that this person has this level of English, this level of work experience, and they're happy to sponsor because they really need the staff, okay? They really need the people to be there helping them out, okay? And that's where I was talking about the third stage, where the I-140 is filed. This is where all the ages of your children is locked in, okay? After the I-140 is filed, it doesn't mean that you're going to get a green card, okay? Because it will be moved to the National Visa Center, okay, where it's country-based, right? It's country-based, and every country has their different processing time. I mean, we understand, right? Like some of the countries that you come from, just look at our neighbor. Our neighbor's size, Malaysia, is already about 10 times our size. I'm talking about population. So the queue, and then there's also only one visa center. So the queue and the time taken will be very different. Okay? Yeah.
But still you can choose expressway.
Yes, correct. You can. Just to answer your question, for every single applicant, we actually put them through the express stream.
Yeah, all the EB-3 I hear because I study about few years, 5,
Yes.
6 years about EB-3.
Yes.
So I see all the applicant is going to express process.
Yes,
So
everybody.
you pay more, I think pay about 1,000 plus years.
Correct. Yeah, per applicant.
Yeah,
Um, Yes, I agree, sir, that we are all going for express, but still, no matter how express we can be, we are still subjected to the queue of the local consulate.
Yeah, but I hear they got like the backlog, like the India.
Mhm.
India is EB-3 they applicant a lot over application. So
Yes.
I think that any backlog.
Correct.
So I just study. I hear that
Yes.
because in Bangladesh is still okay. It's less application for Bangladeshi
Correct.
nationality.
Correct.
And Myanmar or like Nepal.
Yes.
One more thing is this is for base of quota per
Yes.
country.
Yes.
I hear
Okay.
700 quota per country.
Yes.
I don't
Okay.
know. This is you are more expert, so I want to know about.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so since we have this country, we have this question about quota, I'll take the opportunity to explain to you and do my best to make it as clear as possible. Every year, we are looking at about 140,000 green card to be granted every year. Okay, so but there is a cap because for some countries they are so massive, like China and India. Okay, if we just allow anyone to freely apply, the 140,000 will only go to China and India. Then it's going to shortchange people like us, Singaporeans, Malaysians, Cambodians, Bangladeshi, Nepalese, right? So what has happened, in order to be fair, what the US immigration has implemented is that there is a nationality cap. But do note that the nationality is not based on the passport that you're holding. It is not. It is based on your country of birth. Okay? So for every country, once the cap of 7,000 is being met, they will have to wait for the next year. So just to give an example, today if I am a Chinese or I'm born in China 40 over years ago, and I decide to apply for the EB-3, okay, and I decide to apply for the EB-3, but there are already 70,000 people waiting. And the country is only going to clear 7,000 a year for anyone born in China. This will mean I have to wait for 10 years before it gets to me being cleared. But think about it. I mean, most of us are working, right? Whether in Singapore or other parts of the world. The truth of the matter is, how many employers will wait for you for 10 years before you come to work? The answer is zero. In fact, for the EB-3 program, where the employees are waiting for 2.5 to 3 years, it's already amazing. It's already amazing that they are going to wait that long. But do you know why they are willing to wait? Because they are not able to hire. Just like I gave you an example when we were helping out at the Red Cross 2 days ago, they are not able to hire. They have to bring in 100% foreigners just to help out in the center. Wherever we are in the world, there are always jobs where not all locals are willing to work at. And such is an opportunity for us if we are willing to do that work. And the bonus that comes along with it is that the employer sponsors us for a green card. And that will bring our spouse and our children there together. So to answer your question, we are honestly, for the EB-3 program, we are honestly unable to help any China-born, or India-born, simply because none of the employers are willing to wait beyond 10 years for the EB-3 to be granted, and then you can work there. So thank you for bringing up the good question. Okay, this is us when we spent some time in America pre-COVID, when we visited the employers. Okay, so you can see here, we went to a lot of nursery. So plant technicians, okay, so what I saw, standing there for 1 hour observing, the person was standing all the way. He was completely wrapped up because of the hot sun. He was moving the pot further further and further to help watering and allow the plants to grow. At the end of the day, they move everything closer and closer and closer, and then they keep it. And the next day, the thing repeats. This goes on for 12 hours every day. So such is a job that we are talking about, that we help to place. It is nothing glory, it's nothing very mentally challenging, okay? It's honestly something very physically challenging, okay? Yep, so this is a sample of a labor cert that we have gotten back in 2018. I believe we have put in quite a fair bit of the labor certs that we have. We started marketing the EB-3 back in 2017. We got our first LC approval, and we got our first EB-3 approved from Phnom Penh. That means the Cambodian, one of our Cambodian office, one of our clients from Cambodia got the EB-3 approved first. Okay, so this is a sample of a job offer. Okay, and this is an NVC welcome letter, National Visa Center. Subsequently, the consular interview letter, where you can see it was attention to one of my ex-colleagues, Chris, okay, and our office address. And then it talks about the interview date, and then there'll be a visa label that is pasted into your passport. That visa will be valid for 1 year. Okay, you need to enter America within that 1 year. And once you enter America, we need to register your address, whether it's with your employer or you have arranged a place to stay, and the green card will be mailed there to that address. And that is where our service ends. And that is where, yeah. So I hope I have been quite clear, okay, about what we are able to do or not able to do for you. I'm going to open up to questions on the floor. And if you're attending online, please feel free to type your question into our chat box, and we'll advise you as much as we can.
Question.
Yes, please.
Now we are highlighting the unskilled worker, right?
Yes.
So there is any chance for skilled worker?
There is. The reason why we are not so involved in skilled worker, right, is because from the employer's perspective, for most skilled workers, they really want the candidate to be in America already, and they really want to interview the candidate face to face. So from our perspective, it's going to be, the process is going to be longer, and the chances, of course, we think Zoom, or video call and everything is functional, but there are ready candidates available in America, which is why it's not a program that we want to deep dive on, because we do not have the market for it. You must understand that at any point in time, there are many tourists in America, there are many student visas holders in America, so these people may have the first, I would say, opportunity if there's such a skilled worker visa available. Yeah, but thank you for the question.
So the job is mostly based on the agriculture and farming industry?
Yes, including seafood technician, and can you name me some examples? Some examples of the jobs that we have right now.
Sausage packaging.
Sausage packaging.
Poultry trimmer.
Sorry again? Poultry trimmer. Yep. Okay, Mr. Bean, okay, I can't pronounce, but Mr. B, one of his questions that he asked online, thank you, Mr. B, 15 years experience, how much possibilities to move to America? Okay, Mr. B, thank you for your question. I just want to let you know, because we are focusing on the EB-3 unskilled worker visa stream, right? It's good to have a little bit of experience, but it's not so critical. We just need you to have simple English. 15 years of experience is decent. That means you are able to manage and be a mature adult in the working field. So that's what most of the employers are looking for. They're not looking for anyone with exceptional skills. They just want to get some of their very simple job done. So the answer is yes, we are able to assist you. Chanting. Okay, cost. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so I just want to share with you that we charge a facilitation fee. Okay, we definitely charge a facilitation fee. Okay, I just want to highlight 100 times that we are not paying any employers for any jobs, okay? But for your visa application, for the facilitation, for the administrative support, right, AIMS is definitely going to charge a fee, okay? And please come by to our one-on-one consultation, whether you can fix it online or face-to-face today if you're already in office. And also, for anybody who have attended the webinar or seminar today, right, or even for the whole month of September, I think we are able to open up to a decent discount for anybody who's willing to sign up within a month. So if you're very serious about it, I strongly encourage you to probably at least put a deposit with us. And if you think, discuss, talk to your wife, talk to your parents, and they say no, then we're always happy to give it back to you. If you don't have any issues with that. Do you want to help me?
Sorry?
What's the total cost?
Yeah, what will be the total cost and phase by phase actually is
Sure.
how we should.
Sure.
Then how is the how is
Maybe during the
payment?
consultation, we will let you know because
Oh,
we
okay.
are not able to
Oh,
advertise
okay,
it
understood,
over the
understood. So
phone.
I going to this
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So yes, there will be a face-to-face consultation that's going to happen today. Yeah. If any other questions, I think so far we've only answered 3 or 4 questions.
So one more question.
Mm.
This is for 1 year visa, right? Because the passport is 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year.
The visa label that will be
Within 1
pasted
year,
into your passport will be for 1 year. So you need to enter America within 1 year. Yeah, you and your family members. And once you're there, the green card, right? Actually there's no expiry to the green card, but the validity of the card itself will be for 10 years. So we do expect you to renew it so that your photo is updated as well. And of course, in a matter of 10 years, you could also naturalize and become an American. So, I mean, that's everybody's choice. So far, because we are still new to the EB-3 program, we have not had any of our clients naturalized to become American, but for an older program that we have been dealing with called the EB-5, the employment-based fifth preference, where they have to invest previously of $500,000 US, then some of them have become Americans.
Then with the employer is what is the contract, like 1 year, 2 year, what is the contract with the
Okay, it is important to note that for the purpose of EB-3, right, we are not talking about contract jobs. No, we are talking about permanent jobs.
No, I mean if let's say I want to when I reach in USA,
Yes.
then I will doing 2 or 3 months after that I want to resign the job.
That is okay. That is definitely possible, but as much as we care about, right, because the employers have also been very supportive of us, right, because they are helping to take candidates from AIMS and sponsoring them for the EB-3 visa. We really hope from the bottom of our heart that most of our candidates will be able to stick around for at least 2 years with the employer. But of course, things happen, right? So, like, I've been in the AIMS business for 16 years. I have colleagues who have been with me for more than 10 years. I have colleagues who have been with me for 10 hours. 10 hours. He come in the morning, lunchtime he left and he never came back. So it's life. It's life. To answer your question, yes, it's a free country. You have every right to join and resign. But as much as possible, I hope all our candidates who are signing up for this program, you know exactly what you're signing up for and don't use our employers as a stepping stone. Because they have been very nice to sponsor you and your family to be on a green card. So we hope you can really work dedicatedly for them, at least for the next 2 years or even forever. Yes.
So that means you got a message from the employer that also he has said that they should work with us at least 2 years or.
Okay,
yeah.
Number one is a permanent contract.
Yeah.
But we hope that, I mean, by permanent, of course, it means forever, but still, yeah. So if you ask me what is the minimum time I should work for the employer, there is really no hard and fast rule. But from the AIMS perspective, we hope that it can be at least 2 years.
But some of my friends, 2 of them, they get from the Bangladesh.
Yes.
2017.
Yes.
One is September, one December. They already USA. I just spoke to them.
Mm-hmm.
They say minimum 1 year have to work with them. But they told me, but I don't know how you contact with your employer.
Yes. So previously, right, we were of the view that 1 year is a fair number. But if you think about it, this employer has waited for you for 3 years. And then you go there and so we are trying to strike a balance here. We want to attain a win-win-win where our clients win, the employers win, and AIMS win. Because we don't want to get to a position where they say, oh, No, everyone that aims is sending, they work for 3 months and then they go missing. So we don't want to get into such a position. So we are very dedicated and committed, and we want to be very clear about the expectations as well.
So what is the processing time, waiting time for this?
It's about 2.5 years. It's about 2.5 years. So that's why the employer is already waiting this amount of time for you. So so that's why I think it's important.
Any other possibility like want to go express shorter time
No.
like 1.5 year?
Well, I mean, the visa policies do change. I hope that one day they'll open up an even faster processing time, because I think most of the time, this processing time dragging, right? There are two possibilities that will result in that. Number one is where the employer gets an audit, okay, because they want to make sure, like, how come this employer is sponsoring so many people from Singapore, from Cambodia, from Bangladesh? It's because they want to make sure that we are not like gaming the system, which we are not. Okay, but still there are things that can happen, such as an audit. And another possibility is the visa queue at the consular. So sometimes, like the consular, because of COVID, they have worked from home. They are not able to take on such a long queue or so many applicants. So the visa interview queue is very long. So that causes a time delay.
Okay, I just did the multiple visa USA.
Yes.
Last year, but I just take the appointment. After 2 weeks, I get the appointment. After some years.
Yes. So I also want to explain, right, that in the consulate there are two queues. One is called the non-immigrant, and one is called the immigrant, right? So what we are dealing with is the immigrant. Okay, so when it comes to the immigrant, right, they'll be more careful and selective and have longer processing time as well because they have more due diligence to do. So, yep. Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so we have a Miss Teo who asks, what is the amount of money that is ideal for us to bring to America for a family of 3? And what kind of positions are there available? How long do we have to work for the employers? Okay, 3 questions. I'll answer it one by one. I think ideally, right, for someone to settle down in America, especially into a new job, and only one person working, and if you're bringing a family of 3, right, it's important that you set aside some emergency funds. Okay, so so far what I've seen for some of our clients who have gone there, we are talking about a rental of a very small apartment for a family of 3. We are talking about 1,800 a month. Okay, and then of course you need to have meals and whatnot, right? So safely, if you ask me, 2 times 6, 12. I think 25 to 30,000 is something that you really should set aside. Okay. In terms of job positions, some of my colleagues have answered earlier. We are talking about poultry, packaging, seafood technician. Okay, that means you shell, and meat technician. How long do we have to work for the employers? Okay, it's a permanent job, so we are hoping that you'll work for them for at least 2 years. What would be the salary range per day or per month? Okay, so far the salary range we're talking about is between 2,000 to 2,300 USD per month. Okay, not the best paying jobs in the world, but as I said, we hope that you'll appreciate the employer sponsoring you and your whole family will secure a green card in this aspect. Okay, I think we should cut this off at some point. We can probably go for the last 2 or 3 questions, then we should be good.
So processing is a 2.5 years, that is a confirm.
Jennifer,
You didn't have any shorter.
is it 2.5 years?
For EB-3, generally, from our experience, about 2.5 to about 3 years sometimes. So depending on how long the embassy, how long the wait for the embassy, the consular interview to take place. So there are various stages, right? Okay, one is on the Department of Labor, whereby the Department of Labor will assess your eligibility to be hired as a foreigner to fulfill that role. That one will take 6 to about 8 months, 9 months, okay? And then there's another one, which is that US CIS, okay, whereby they'll process your visa, okay? So it's your visa, your family's visa, right? So that one also, like what this gentleman has said, there's premium processing, whereby you can fast track the application, but you have to pay additional $2,500 to fast track. Even for fast track pathway, it's going to take a few months as well. And once your I-140, what we call the I-140 visa is approved, then you'll move on to NVC, National Visa Center. The whole package, right? Your whole package will move to the National Visa Center, who will then which will then process your application and prepare you for the consulate interview. Okay, that one also will take a few months. Then once the consulate interview is set, right, you just have to wait for the interview to happen. Okay, so between the I-40 to NVC to the consulate interview, right, it can take more than 6 months for sure. Okay, and then once you enter into the consulate embassy to go for the interview with the embassy, right? Then that's where we will guide you, we'll coach you on some of the interview questions and all that. But the rest is up to you, okay? And then some of our clients, okay, they went for the interview. Some of them came out immediately. They have a immigrant visa on their passport already. Okay, non-immigrant visa to enter into the States immediately. They can go already. But there are some that went into this bucket called the administrative processing, AP. AP means, right, okay, the embassy staff needs more information. Okay, so they may want to dig a little bit deeper on the employer. They may want to ask for more information regarding your own background. So we've got some clients that are like that. And administrative processing AP can stretch for 1 year, 2 years. We don't know. Okay, but during this period of time, okay, the embassy will keep coming back to us and say, ask for this document, that document, and additional information, which we have to supply. So they'll ask for employment contract with the employer. They'll ask for, your medical cert and everything. So they ask for anything actually. Okay, and then it's a waiting game. So the AP processing time is nobody know one. It's really a waiting game. Okay, so once you get out, but some people say AP means you go into this black hole, you never get out. But it's not true. We have got clients from Cambodia. We've got clients in Vietnam who went into AP processing. 2 years they waited. 2 years. Okay, and then they got out, and now they have a non-immigrant visa, and off they go to the US. So for this group that went into AP, they stretched more than 3 years. 4 years. Yeah. So depends on the various stages that you go through. Okay, so we always hope that our clients will have a very smooth journey. Okay, every stage is very, very smooth. Every stage is very seamless for them. Okay, and that in itself will take at least 2.5 years to 3 years already. So to answer this gentleman's question, whether there's anything that's shorter, unfortunately, no. Unless you have, you have a company that wants to hire you, okay, but you will not be on a permanent residence basis. You will not have a green card, but it's on a non-immigrant. That means no permanent residency one. Okay, so for example, some of our investor clients, okay, who wishes to start a business in the US, okay, under E2 visa. E2 visa is a non-immigrant visa. Okay, you go inside business, you start to work there, you can live there. E2 visa is extendable, renewable indefinitely. That one, yeah, correct. That one, you can get it within 6 months. You can go in and work already. Go in and start your business. But that one is non-immigrant visa. That means it doesn't lead to permanent residency. You want permanent residency, you have to wait. The processing time will be longer. Okay? Any other questions?
Okay, then as you said, the salary range is just now is the same like 2,300, right? 2.3K. So that means if the family, somebody is being family together, so let's say they are the 4 members. So this actually amount is not sufficient for them to survive, right?
Yeah, okay, see, usually our clients are family members, okay, one main applicant that will secure the job with the employer, okay, to be a meat processor or packer or whatsoever, right? And then whole family move over there. The spouse, right, can do anything. The spouse can also work in the same company if she wants to or he wants to. The spouse can start his or her own business. The spouse can look for other jobs. Okay, so one person will be engaged by the company and the other spouse, okay, the spouse will work anywhere else. Okay, or you choose not to work. It's really up to you. So if 2 person work, of course, your dual income, then you'll be more or less better in terms of the living standards and everything.
If the income is still coming, then the school fee will not be covered.
But they are free education in the public schools. Yeah. So you go in there in the US as a green card holder, you're permanent resident really. So you enjoy all the benefits as a citizen except you cannot vote. You cannot become president. Yeah.
But even though any of them for free education,
Sorry?
like they going to from Bangladesh, someone they go as then their children also still got free education.
Not all. If you are a foreigner, you go in there, you pay international student fees.
I think
Yeah.
USA don't
Yeah.
have to.
So, but as a green card holder, at least you get the benefits of like a citizen. Yeah. Any other questions?
After green card, how many years need you wait for the citizenship?
After green card, is it? You have to wait 5 years, right?
5 years.
Yeah, you have to stay there 5 years and then you apply for citizenship. Okay. So, we can actually, thank you. So what we can do now is to have individual consultation, okay, for you, so you can ask more questions with our consultants. Christy, okay, is one of our consultants, and Suki is also another consultant. Okay, Piers and myself will also be available to consult with all of you. Okay, so if you all wish to go for the one-to-one consultation, we can actually do it now. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's great. Okay, so we will let you know whoever comes first, then we will we'll do the consultation. Right?
Yeah, it is guys, it's really our seminar after more than a 2 years hiatus, right? So can I just really trouble you to give us a round of applause? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's you.